Smoking a major and thinking of you. Believing the last thing I thought you would do.
And welcome back to Cap Report. There's a discussion around the table during the break of having our breaks on a webcast, so you can see what's going on behind the scenes of everybody. You know, I think it's quite entertaining what goes on in the breaks.
What do you think, gals?
A new Quinnipiac poll came out this week that has Linda McMahon up by 3. So Tanya,
what's the margin of error?
You tell me.
You just talked about the poll. You said she's up by 3. Somebody read the
Well, it was 54, 42.
You know what? This is going to be a close race. This is no surprise. She is on the air hammering Chris Murphy, hammering him over and over again. Of course she's getting close in the polls, telling lies about...
She's not getting close. She's
her
leading
ads
the polls.
Are not lies. Her ads are factually correct. It's even been
just like Ryan's speech.
It's been validated. It's been validated by the Hartford Courant that her ads are factually correct. His ads are attack ads.
Leaning on that side. Mostly correct. Clearly not 100%.
His attendance at public hearings is a matter of public record.
We did that last week.
That's true. We went over that last week and how
and I can guarantee you Blumenthal is going to those hearings. I can guarantee you Blumenthal is going to those hearings.
Blumenthal would go to the garage door opening if there were 5 voters there.
Exactly how those hearings work, Brian.
But Tanya, here's the problem. So now, in the latest Quinnipiac poll, McMahon leads 55-40 among independent voters, the largest voting bloc in the state of Connecticut. So, I mean, you have to look at these polls. If you're the Murphy campaign, you have to be, one, trying to raise a lot more money, and getting some super PACs like you know, they're ringing Chris Dodd's phone saying, could you please help us out a little bit? Can you give us some money, get your Hollywood folks behind us? He needs money.
He doesn't need money.
And he needs to drive that message. If he's playing catch-up ball, it's tough to do in any sport.
But it's still close enough, and there's still enough national attention. This race is so important nationally that you will see the contributions come in. You will see even heavier super PAC involvement. I think he's going to have some money. Is he going to have as much as Linda puts in for herself? Absolutely not. But it's close enough that he's not going to fall off the radar. No way, no how.
And Jody, the polling points to the fact that when asked about the WWE, it's a big whoopee-doo. No one cares. So that is the one thing that all the Democrats tried out saying, oh, wait till they hear about all of the WWE stuff, and guess what? Right. It's not resonating with the voters.
It's been tried before it failed. I think what's important now...
It didn't fail. She
because that wasn't why. I think what's important now is that people are starting to perk up and pay attention. We have 2 months to go. It's still a long way to go, but I think that this race is a lot closer than many folks had thought. Marty, Tanya. And I think
no, I always said it was going to be close because of her money. She's buying it.
No, I think she's got the ground game that he does not have.
She has no ground.
Marty, speaking of buying it, you know, there's a new ad this week. Check this out.
Linda McMahon showed up for her job and created more than 600 good Connecticut jobs. Marketing, accounting, IT, and more. But newspapers say Chris Murphy skipped nearly 80% of his job in committees. And when Murphy did show up, he voted to cut Medicare by $716 billion and to increase middle-class taxes. No wonder Chris Murphy isn't being honest with you about Linda.
I'm Linda McMahon, and I approve this message.
So now that forced Chris Murphy to kind of raise the ante and run this one this week.
As CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment, Linda McMahon had a plan. Shift profits overseas to avoid U.S. taxes. Deny employees health care and disability to increase her profit. Now McMahon has another plan. Tax cuts for the wealthy, including a $7 million tax cut for herself. McMahon's plan for the middle class, cuts to Medicare and education. Linda McMahon, always for her, never for us.
I think
never for us.
Well, I think he's going to have to spend a lot of money that he doesn't necessarily have expendable, and I'm told that his internals are making him nervous.
Well, and I think they are. I think they are. I think that he is behind in the money. I think he's a better candidate. I think he's got a proven track record, and he's going to win. But it's not. It's going to be very close.
Tanya, moving quickly to the 5th Congressional District, things have kind of been tidied up in a nice little bow. A Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee had an a poll out, which told us what?
Yeah, so they reported on the poll. They have Elizabeth Esty up 35% or 44% to Rohrabacher's 35% after we positive messaged her, and I can't give you details on the poll other than what's public, obviously, but after we talked about her plan, she leads by 15 points, 53 to 38%. So what this is saying is, and by the way, I should also add that a generic Democratic candidate against a generic Republican also leads in this district. So all of our talk about this being the most conservative district in Connecticut, it's still a Democratic district. It still tilts Democrat, and Elizabeth Esty is looking really strong.
Marty, all the progressives and the unions have kind of gathered together and I
wouldn't say all the progressives, but certainly the vast majority of the labor movement.
Kumbaya, and it's a big love fest now. They love Elizabeth Esty.
Marty's a little reserved.
I'm for Elizabeth Esty. I think that she's going to be a fine congresswoman. And I think what you've done is you've unified the two biggest blocks of activists in the Democratic Party, labor and women. And in this district, that's going to be enough to make for a good, strong Democratic win.
So, Jody, Andrew Rohrbeck would be through then, right?
No. I think that Esty is Donovan without the indictments, and I think one of those polls actually
Donovan without an indictment wins.
Listen, one of those polls had a generic Democrat.
I'll take that. That's not a bad line.
One of those polls had a generic Democrat beating Esty by 4%. You could run against her and still win.
No, I'm not a generic Democrat. Yeah, I'm a socialist. I'm not a generic Democrat.
Esty against Rohrbeck. Esty's ahead. Esty wins. Democratic district. Doesn't mean it couldn't get close. Doesn't mean it's not an important race. Esty still wins.
There are a lot of leading, though, left-leaning political bloggers that are out there this week saying that Rohrbeck's moderate profile will definitely aid him in this district, and I think that you cannot overlook that.
Well, we're not
We'll have to leave it at that. When Capitol Report returns, the political app of the week, and we got to talk about Clint Eastwood, right?
Thanks be to God.
When Capitol Report returns, don't go away.
Go Clint. Like Kirby.